welcome to the Effortless Being podcast. I'm your podcast host, Deandra, and as always, I'm super excited to be here. Today is April 11th, and I hope you're taking care of your mind, of your body, of your health, and just being kind to yourself because you deserve it. I know today it's a little bit different, so we are now part of YouTube, so that's so great. I'm glad that you guys can finally see me, because you guys don't see how much I'm on my phone researching things as I'm speaking to you guys, or sorry, I had a brain fart. Yeah, you guys don't see that either. You guys don't see the pauses, so it's gonna be real. We're being raw here. So I'm excited to be here, and I hope that you can follow, subscribe, comment. I'm excited to know your thoughts. So today we're going to be talking about community and the importance of community and the importance of building community. I love where we are going as a society. We have been implementing boundaries, and boundaries are amazing. Truly, boundaries are amazing. They allow us to show up for ourselves. They allow us to show up for others. They allow us to pour from a full cup, give love to others from a full cup, and not from an empty cup. And that's so important. So, although I agree with boundaries, although I understand the importance of them in our life, I also know that rigid boundaries are creating isolation. They are creating this separation between us and people. They're not allowing us to connect with people. Because yes, boundaries are so important, but we need to know the difference between boundaries and rigid boundaries, because there is a difference. And I believe that we're all here and we are not meant to live life in isolation. That's my belief, but I've seen it. I see it. So I believe that we're here on earth, yes, and we leave alone and we're born alone, yes, but I don't believe that we're meant to live our life in isolation. I believe that we're supposed to live in connection, in community. I believe that we're social beings that are literally made for connection. We thrive off connection. We can die without connection. It's possible. So let's talk about what community is. And according to Merriam-Webster, a community is a unified body of individuals, a group with shared interests and people living in the same area. Yes, community includes friendship, it includes relationships, but it also includes doing similar things as other people. It includes going to a coffee shop, it includes going to that dance class, it includes going to that art class. Not necessarily just friendship, family, relationship, but other things. And not to say that friendship, family, and relationship is not enough. It is enough. It's enough for a lot of people. Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of community. So, connection. Connection, I think, is the biggest one, and it's very important. It also lowers your stress. And with that, we get that dopamine when we do get that connection. We get this serotonin, which are the happy hormones that you can get without engaging in drugs, alcohol use, or whatever one may use to get those hormones. Connecting with people gives you that. Connecting with friends, connecting with loved ones, texting a loved one gives you that happy hormone. With that first point that I gave, which is that it makes us feel connected, is that it makes us feel like we belong. it gives us that sense of being a part of something, creating something, and it allows us to express our creativity and do things that we wouldn't usually do alone. And with that also comes that we're not isolated. We don't feel lonely. There's an epidemic, obviously, since before COVID this existed, but with COVID, I think it just made it so much worse that like we became less social. We didn't have to interact with people. We didn't have to ask people on dates. We didn't have to ask friends to go watch a movie with us and risk the chance of being rejected by that friend, by that person. So this is like our little comfort zone. The isolation is our comfort zone. But that isolation leaves us to feel lonely. And in a world that is full of lonely people, it's full of people who feel like they are not understood. In a world that is full of people who feel sad often, that feel like they have no one to speak to, we have each other. That's literally what we are here for. I am here to be a part of a community to support other people, and other people are part of a community to support me in moments when I need. So let's talk about solitude, because I am not here to say like, screw the boundaries, go all in, people please, pour from an empty cup. No, that's not what we're talking about here. Solitude is so important. It really is. The same quote that you can't pour from an empty cup. You really can. You really must take care of yourself. That's why I always start every episode by saying, I hope you're taking care of your mental health. I hope you're taking care of your physical health. I hope you're being kind to yourself, because if you're not doing that, it's very hard, almost impossible, to be able to pour into someone else's cup, to be able to help someone else who's struggling in their mental health, to be able to help someone else who's struggling in their physical health, to be able to be kind to someone else. Remember that quote that I shared with you guys maybe a month ago that was like, it went something like, beware of the man who is shirtless and is offering you a shirt. Something like that. I can't remember what it says. But yeah, it says something like that. And what it's saying is, this person is trying to give you something they don't have. That is probably going to be met with some sort of expectation later. So that man is probably going to say, oh, well, now you owe me $10 in a couple of days. So it's like, we can't literally pour, if we're empty and we're trying to pour from ourselves to another person, it's not from a place of love. We're going to be expecting something subconsciously. You consciously might not be doing this, but subconsciously it's like, oh, like, well, I did this, why didn't they do this? So this is why it's so important to take care of yourself. And I understand it, guys. I'm Gen Z. Like, I'm working on setting boundaries. They've been so helpful, so beneficial to me. I know so many people who set boundaries in their lives and their life has completely changed. But it's so important to find that balance between solitude and community. And so I hope that's something that you get from today's episode. I heard a quote. I love quotes, okay? I love quotes. You guys should know this, because if you're here, you've probably listened to the other 175 episodes that we already have on this podcast. And I love using quotes. So one quote that I heard recently, I was listening to a Jay Shetty podcast, and he was interviewing someone, and it was a woman who said that inconvenience is the price we pay for community. So it is inconvenient. It might be inconvenient to answer your friend's message late at night. It's inconvenient to have to show up for people. It's inconvenient to do things in a community when you could just do it all by yourself, especially if you love control. If you love control, this is something that you might struggle with, where it's like, why ask for help? Why do it with someone? Why ask for help if I could just do it by myself? That's just gonna backtrack me. That's just gonna slow me down. And how might that person feel? Does that person feel connected? Do they feel isolated? Do they feel lonely? Do they feel like no one helps them? Do they feel like no one understands them? I would say that they do probably feel that way. Not always, but sometimes when they've done it for a while, that it's like, no, I'll just do it by myself. No, I'll figure it out by myself. No, I don't need anyone. They might be feeling like no one understands them. They might be feeling lonely. And that loss of connection that is so necessary for us to survive. I really think it's that important. I believe connection has that capacity of like keeping us alive. So it might be inconvenient, yes, but that is the price we pay for community. Let me give you guys an example. I recently started running. Well, not recently, I've been running for a while. But, and I go to run clubs once in a while. I live like on one end of the city, and the run clubs usually meet like 30 minutes away from where I live. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, like I don't even want to go, like it's such a far drive, I'll just run alone. And sometimes I do. And other times, I know that I really want that community. I really want that connection. I really want that like-mindedness. I really want people who love to run, people who might have the same hobbies as me, might have the same mindset as me. So I'm like, let me go there. So sure, it is inconvenient for me to drive 30 minutes, but that is the price that I pay for community, for connection. And we all deserve connection. And we all deserve support. We all deserve to be helped. We don't have to do it alone anymore. I want you to think of inconveniences in your life. This is my example. Now I want you to think of your example. How has showing up for someone been inconvenient for you? What inconvenience has that brought upon you? And not that we want to override this inconvenience, but we want to be aware of it, right? Like, yes, maybe it is inconvenient for you to respond to your friend at 10 p.m. Maybe it is inconvenient for you to drive somewhere. Maybe it is inconvenient for you to help your friend move. But that is the price that we pay for community. Not that we're doing this to get something in return. Not that we're helping this friend with this thing that she's going through in the hopes that when I'm going through this same thing, she helps us too. But yes, in a way, like, yes, one could hope that when we're going through a similar situation, we already have that community. We already have someone there that can be there for us, that can support us, that can guide us. Because we've taken the time to show up for people, because we've taken the time to build this community. Community is built. And that's what I mean when I say that we want to make sure that we're showing up for people, that we're actually taking the time to build that community, to be there for people, not at the expense of ourselves, I'm not telling you to abandon yourself. I'm not telling you to people please. That's not what we're saying here. This is done from a place of love. You've already shown up for yourself. You've already taken care of yourself and your needs. So now with that full cup, you can show up for other people. You can build that, be a part of that community for other people. And not to say that like people are going to depend on you for everything. It's not beneficial when people are just taking and taking and taking. You know, you want that reciprocity. But from a place of love, from a place of, I've already had my solitude with myself, so now let me show up for you. Yes, I actually can help you move because I've already meditated. Yes, I actually can help you move because I've already gone to the gym and shown up for myself. Are there times where I might not be able to go to the gym because my friend needs me right now, because my mom needs me right now, because my sister, my pet needs me right now? Yes, there are going to be times where we're going to have to not suppress our needs, but hold off on them. Because right now there's an emergency right now in this moment. Something's happening and I need to show up for them. Just like they are going to show up for you. And again, this is not a give and take type of thing, but it is reciprocity, right? And I would hope that you're looking for friendships that are reciprocating that friendship, that are reciprocating that connection, because if not, if you're the only one that's giving, that might still leave you feeling isolated. So back to what I had said earlier, think of those moments where it's inconvenient for you, where it's been inconvenient for you to show up, where you might have had to take the long route, where maybe you were going to do something on your own and then someone asked you like, oh, like, can I do it too? Can I go with you too? And then now it's going to like take you like 30 minutes more, but at least you get this connection. Think of those moments and find where you were able to build community through that inconvenience. Like I said, COVID has made us so used to, it's gotten us so accustomed to isolation. It's gotten us so used to relying on ourselves. And there's a whole village, there's a whole community, and it really does take a village. It really does take a whole community. It really does. It really does take the dance lessons and the gym and the people I meet at the gym, the people I meet at the dance lessons. It really does take the people that I meet at run clubs, the people that I meet teaching at school, at my job, all of it, right? We're not just expecting this from family, from boyfriend, from husband. We're getting that connection in different places. Because like I said, it really does take a village. It really does. And I understand the fear of like fearing that we're going to depend on someone. Like this fear that if we do start building that community, we're going to start depending on them. And that's not what this is, again, right? Because that's why you're going into that solitude. That's why you're showing up for yourself. That's why you're going to the gym, you're moving your body, you're doing your yoga, you're eating your nutritious meals, you're showing up for yourself, you're giving yourself that compassion, you're giving yourself that love first, and then you're showing up for your community, and then you're showing up for your family, and then you're showing up for your friends. So it's this balance. It's not all one or the other. It's not all solitude and it's not all community, because this one's going to leave me feeling super lonely. This one's going to leave me feeling super drained. We want to be able to find a balance between isolation and solitude and community so that we can get those needs met. People are allowed to help you meet your needs. You don't have to do it on your own. That's literally I think that's literally why we are on this planet, to help people. You're allowed to help, to get help. You're allowed to ask for help. You're allowed to want connection. You're not asking for too much. If you're asking someone for connection, if you're asking someone for friendship, and they're not able to give it to you, there's nothing wrong with them. I'm sure you feel sad about that. There's nothing wrong with them, and there's nothing wrong with you. So it's not that you're asking for too much. You might just be asking the wrong person. So that's just food for thought. So finding a balance. Do you guys remember that I made an episode on the pendulum? Find the balance. What feels right to you? Maybe you said no to something, and then after you were like, oh, you know what, like I could have gone. Like it was just like me being so used to that isolation. So like just start making those decisions, either going or not going, either choosing solitude or community, and seeing which one feels right for you in that moment, right? Because there can be different moments where, oh, right now I actually need solitude because my glass is like empty and I can't actually give you love right now. But also see when you maybe have been choosing to hang out with people all the time, neglect your boundaries, and you're not showing up for yourself, so you're feeling very empty. And assess how that makes you feel. Maybe next time we'll go to this and we'll say yes to this. So it's that pendulum to see, okay, wait, I did this time and I didn't like it, so maybe next time I'm gonna try this. So it's just that pendulum of seeing like, okay, here I'm gonna set a boundary and I'm gonna say no here because I'm choosing me. I need to be kind to myself. I haven't slowed down. I feel so stressed, so I need to like be in solitude. Or when it's like, okay, like I want connection right now. And let me just say that sometimes slowing down also means spending time with loved ones. It's not just let me be alone, let me meditate. Social media has sold us this like, let me just be alone, let me just meditate, let me just sit in silence for 2 hours. It's beneficial. Yes, it is. It really is. I know. But I don't think we're completely meant to live in solitude. I think in those moments we could also go to our community and find that support. It's just a matter of what feels good to you and how much of it feels good to you. And again, you and I are different, and only you know what is good for you and what is not. I'm not the expert in your life. You are the expert in your life. But it is a matter of seeing what benefits you, what fuels your soul. And connection is one of those things. Connecting with people who have the same hobbies, who have the same wants, who have the same mindset, who do the same things, who share interests with you, that's beneficial. That lowers our stress level too. Not just meditating, not just sitting in silence, not just sitting in prayer for 3 hours. Yes, that is great, but also this is great too. So how can you implement both so that you can get the best of both worlds? And like I said, sometimes it is going to be inconvenient. Sometimes we are going to have to show up for people when it's inconvenient for us. And if you want that community, sometimes it is necessary to sit with that inconvenience, to sit with that like that frustration. I'm not advocating against boundaries. I love boundaries, but sometimes, guys, sometimes it is necessary. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes it is necessary, and it's okay for us to sit with that inconvenience and build we're not trying to build like a threshold for it, but just that it's allowed to be there. Like, hey, like, yes, it was inconvenient that I had to text my friend at 10 p.m. even though that's my bedtime, but at least I know I was able to help that person in this really difficult situation that they're going through, in this divorce, through this divorce. Like, at least I can be a support to them. And again, that's how we build community. That's how we show up for others, and that's how others show up for us when we need them, because like I said, it takes a village. It really does. And you can be part of someone's village, and by showing up for yourself and showing up for them and teaching them that this is safe, and also they can be that village for you by showing up for themselves, showing up for you, and showing you that your needs matter, that you're important, and that you're supported. We are born with this need for belonging. We're born with this. We're social beings. So yes, it is scary. Yes, it's inconvenient to have those difficult conversations. It's inconvenient to have to ask someone to be your friend. It's inconvenient to ask someone to on a date. We risk being rejected. So yes, it might be a little bit inconvenient, but that's the price you pay for community. That is the price you pay for connection. Sometimes rejection is the price we pay for community. We don't know if people are going to say yes to us. We don't know if people are going to show up for us. We don't know, but we won't know unless we put ourselves out there. So I get it. I get that it's intimidating. I get that it's scary to ask people out, to ask people to hang out with us. I get it. I really do. But again, that is the price that we pay for community. Sit with that rejection. Not everyone is for you. Not everyone needs to be a part of your community. You might have wanted this person to be a part of your community and they weren't able to show up for you in the way that you wanted. That's okay. There's someone out there who will. There's someone out there who knows your needs and they're like, wow, like, that's all? Great, let me give that to you then. Because that's also something you deserve. So I hope that this kind of got you thinking about those rigid boundaries that we might set. Boundaries are beneficial, yes. Sometimes they're rigid. And when they're rigid, that kind of leads us to isolation. That kind of leads us to feel lonely. It leads us to feel like we're not connected with people. And that leads to that depression, that anxiety that everyone is struggling with. How would you feel if you had someone who was guiding you through it, someone who's supporting you through it, someone who understands you, someone who can relate to you? How would that feel for you as opposed to just doing it on your own, figuring it out by yourself, doing it by yourself? Like I said, you're the expert. I don't know. I'm just asking you these questions to help you reflect, to help you see if this is actually benefiting you, if isolation and complete solitude is actually benefiting you, or if maybe you want some connection in your life, because that is available to you. There's communities everywhere. Find that salsa dancing class, find that art making class, find that run club near you, find that gym near you, find that all-girl gym, find the all-men gym, find the people who love thrifting, the people who love fashion, the people who love jiu-jitsu. Like, find your community, find your people, find the people who you feel most connected to and who are maybe gonna lead you closer to that passion, so that you can start feeling that love that we all desire in this life. So like I said, I hope this episode was beneficial. I hope it helped you. I hope that you were able to find some support. Even this is a community, guys. That's why I'm telling you guys, comment. I know that we were limited in that area from podcasts, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We didn't really have that flexibility, but now we do. So find your community. And if you know someone who could benefit from this episode, I would really appreciate that you send it to them. Let them know that now they can watch us, and let them know that there's over 175 episodes in English and in Spanish on the podcast. So yes, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself. Thank you so much for learning. I know that if you're here, you're learning, you're trying to do something different, and that's amazing, and I see you. Thank you so much again for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.